Hello everyone and welcome to my third GTA Online race creation, and this will be the last one for a while, but it's probably the best one and the one that you should probably race if you're going to race any of them. So it's called Party in Paleto Bay, and the description is: for those living in the backwater town of Paleto Bay, sources of entertainment can be difficult to find. Locals must resort to finding their own ways to have fun. Being so far from Los Santos and their police department does have its advantages from time to time. So this has jumped straight to the top of the list really for what I would say are my favourite tracks on the game. I've always wanted to do something around the Paleto Bay area because, you know, it's not used that much. There are a few off-road races, but that's really it. And, you know, it's a nice place. There's quite a few smooth roads and intricate corners and interesting points to this track. And it's quite a sophisticated little track. So here it is in all its glory. You start on the main sort of highway, and there's quite a long drag straight up to the first corner, but this is where the grid is. It's another 16 car grid, this time spread out a little bit more into a large grid, and the trigger for starting the mission is just in the on the left hand side there. I'll zoom into it now, where it's in a sort of run down garage, if you like. So that's kind of the meeting point for all these locals who want to have a race around Paleto Bay. So you start at the start line and you go straight down the main highway, quite a long way, all the way to the first corner. Again, quite a long straight, but that's kind of needed really for, you know, the start of a race. You need a bit of space to get out of the way of anyone else. So you come around the first two corners, which are quite nice wide corners, and then past the beach area, and you take a left-hand turn through and you start the sort of more technical section of the track. So it's a quick left, right, and then you back onto the main highway. Once you're back onto the main highway, it's not that much of a distance before you turn and take another right, and you go straight all the way down towards the beach. You've got to be careful on that bit, otherwise you'll just fly straight through the fence and onto the beach. And then you take a left-hand turn round the little section there, and then right, then left, past the fire station and stuff like that. And another sort of more wide left brings you back onto the start-finish straight, and away you go on another lap. Quite a short lap, but quite technical, quite involved, and it's got quite a few interesting features to it as well. So this is the main sort of interesting part to the race really, and it's where cars and bikes might be coming towards you whilst you're going past them. So if you get a whole section done before anyone else, you could be coming back along the main straight, whilst others are still coming round this section going the opposite direction. So that adds a little interesting dynamic, although it isn't as bad as my first race, which was Drag Kings of Los Santos, because you do have this whole left-hand section to do before you can actually run into anyone else. So it's not quite as pronounced. So another few interesting sections are this area here. You've got the bank that you rob in the GTA Online single player, and then opposite it you've got the hotel that gets destroyed. So that's a nice little nod to single player. Then you actually do go through that in the race. And you've also got the beach at the background, and you've got all the industrial section. You know, lots of companies are based here. And you've also got Mount Chiliad as a nice little backdrop as well, which, you know, makes it quite a nice little place to view essentially. So here's a lap of the track, and I wasn't initially going to use motorbikes for this. The default class was going to be muscle cars because it kind of went in with this whole idea of the backwater town of Paleto Bay and things like that. But after having a few races on it, and you'll see those later on, I just had to have motorbikes as the default class. They just work so well with this track, it's amazing. And I didn't envisage that when I first created it, but it's perfect. If you're going to try anything, try motorbikes first. 3 laps, motorbikes, it's just ideal. Just a quick note is that PS3 users won't be able to play my races, and it's something that I found out after I published the first one. So if you are a PS3 user, help me get it verified. You know, spread it to Rockstar and tell them that you want to play this race, because when it is verified, it is then available for both platforms. So just a little note there. So now we move on to a few races, and these are basically in order of when I did them. First I started with a few muscle cars, and I got absolutely taken out completely in the first corner, so that wasn't great. The first few races, in fact, in general, weren't that great. So I'm right at the back here, but I do manage to have a comeback throughout the next sort of 2 laps, and I actually get into first position, as you'll see here. So, you know, my knowledge of the track helped me there. But, you know, if this had been a 2-lap race, then that would have been it. I would have won. But you can't do anything to really account for people like this who are just going to be total idiots once they've lost the race already. So, yeah, that wasn't a great start to myself, you know, trying that race. In the second race, I put it to sports cars and then forgot about my elegy being impounded, so I had to use a Feltzer, which didn't even have a turbo on it, and then I got tagged as well. But thankfully, you know, the guy waited for me, so that was nice of him. And there's 2 guys in here that are part of the crew, and you know, I explained last time that if you are part of the crew, you can race with me when I'm testing these things. So yeah, although I got the fastest lap, in the Feltzer I couldn't recover from that shunt essentially, and my Feltzer wasn't really up to the task anyway because it was severely lacking a turbo. Supercars I tried out next, and it's very nice track with supercars. It's, you know, the smooth roads really help. And I was sort of back to winning ways with those, if you like. So yeah, you know, the faster the cars are, the better this track is, I think. So yeah, that was nice. And then I tried the motorbikes, and this is where it really, you know, got interesting. This was where it felt really good. I mean, like I said, muscle cars were by default the default class initially. But as soon as I tried motorbikes, I had to change it because it's just they feel so much better on this track. You know, the corners are just very nice. You know, you got the long straight, and as you can see, you'll see in this video, when you're passing people at the section where you might cross over, you know, you're not going to hit anybody else because, you know, you're so thin. And this video will show quite a few, you know, areas where, quite a few instances where I will be passing people going the opposite direction, and it's quite a fun little mechanic and fun little part of the race, really. So, as I said earlier, this is going to be my final race creation for a while, because I do have sort of a plan of a race that I really want to, you know, work on quite a lot, and it's going to be quite an involved race. So, you know, that's what I'm going to focus on for a while, and I do have ideas for other videos in between that. So, yeah, this will be the last one for a while, but this actually wasn't meant to go up this week. You know, it was meant to be quite a bit later on, sort of New Year time. But I've decided to sort of rush it out because of the creator weekend and the event weekend that we've got on at the moment. So if you don't know, basically there's an event where the buzzard is like 25% off, so is the adder. There's a live stream, and it's basically focused around the new content of the capture game mode and the creator system. So basically, if you race my race and like it, it might win the competition. That's basically it. So what I've done is I've put this out there because it is it's my favourite race. I really enjoy this one, and I feel it's my best creation so far. And if there's any time for you to race it and try it out and give it those thumbs up in the game, now's the time. You know, now's the time. Just boot it up, host a lobby with it, see if you can get a few people to join, because it is a lot of fun with a lot of people. Try the bikes, try supercars, try a lot of different things with it. Just give it a good old run out, and if you enjoy it, hit the like at the end of the race lobby, and it'll help me to see whether you like the race first of all, and you never know, it might help me in that competition for the race the creator weekend competition held by Rockstar. I don't really mind about winning it or anything, but it would be nice to sort of maybe have a race verified or get a race out there to the masses. And also, if you want to check my other races, if you haven't played them already, there is a link down in the description which links you to all those. So to add this race, again, there's a link in the description that will allow you to go to Social Club, add the race, and then you find it in your bookmarked races. So this is about wrapping up now. There's about 1.5 laps of this last race to go, and this was quite good because we did get about 9 or 10 people in it, and it was, you know, quite an interesting race that happened behind me, at least anyway. So yeah, it was fun to race on. What I will say before I leave you again is Merry Christmas to anyone who celebrates it, and check out my channel on Christmas Day, because I do have a little Christmas present for all of you, and it's kind of on the theme of what you're watching now. Maybe something in the picture that's right there now might be the main theme of the next video, but it'll be a nice little Christmas present for you all, I think, and that's all I'm going to say about it at the moment. I'll leave it to be a little surprise for you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the next video, which I'm sure you will. And give this race a go. You know, let me know what you think about it. Do you think it looks good? Have you raced it? Do you enjoy it? You know, let me know. And the next race creation that you'll see will probably be a more involved one that will take, you know, a fair bit of skill to get round and a fair bit of effort. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate all your support as always, and I'll see you next time.